Hey, Greg.
Hey, Tim.
How's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know about that. You're telling me some stories. Kind of rough.
I don't know. I don't want to admit that I'm getting older. And It just seems like lately there's been a lot of signs that I'm not 18 anymore.
Yeah. Easily frustrated, maybe.
Yeah. And like I work in the technology world to a degree, but there's certain things that, the automation and trying to get everything to be AI driven, that there are times when not having a human that you can actually talk to and understand your situation, because a lot of times I feel like I know what the problem is. Mm-hmm. I just don't have that little piece of information that is crucial to solving it. Yeah. And when you keep telling a bot or someone on chat the same thing and they just keep spitting out like, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah. It's amazing how those AI chatbots now, at your bank, whatever it is, it's an AI chatbot. And just give me a person. Yeah. And another thing, I'm going to be an old man right now, right? Do you know when you call in to any of those, they say, what's your account number? And you either say it, which takes forever, or you type it in and they say, is your account number? And then you have to wait for them to spit. I'm like, yes. I don't have 10 seconds while you're spitting back the 18-digit account number I just gave to you.
Yeah. I mean, I get at the end of the day, it's supposed to make our lives easier, but there are times where these systems, it's just not there yet. No. And it's infuriating at times, but yeah, what are you going to do?
I know. You can complain about it. Yeah. Nobody's going to care.
Yeah. Just start a podcast so you have a place to complain. It's not Latch-Key dads anymore. It's two old men complaining.
Grumpy old dads.
There we go.
We're not going to be like that though, Tim. We're going to be positive.
Yeah, that's right. We're just here to have a good time.
That's right. Yeah. Positive vibes.
So speaking of good times, we've mentioned a bunch of times that we are in a baseball fantasy league together.
That second year,
that's right. And I'm pretty sure I said early on that I thought I would be, mediocre at best. And I'm less than mediocre. I think.
Less?
Yeah.
Oh, man. How'd you do?
Well, going into the playoff week here, I think I am in, 9th out of 12. So.
Okay.
Not great.
Upper 2/3. But wait. How did I do? Let's see.
You were one better than me.
Bragging rights.
Number 8 right there. Yeah.
I'm going to get a t-shirt. Number 8.
Yeah. And now your buddy who is in this league as well, last year did not do very well.
He was I think dead last.
First this year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, really did quite well.
I don't talk to him that often. It's just one of those fun relationships that only guys can do, which is never talk to somebody for months on end. And then you're if we were together, it's just no
just pick up where you left off. Yeah.
But so I haven't had a chance to get up with him and be are you actually doing this or what?
He's got an AI bot running it for him. So it'll be interesting to see, how it shakes out with the next couple of weeks with the playoffs. But
it's actually exciting to be a Mets fan in September.
Yeah,
which is rare.
Yeah. It's just so wild to me how quickly the tide will turn. Where the Braves seemed like they could do no wrong for a while there, and now all of a sudden they're doing a lot wrong. Although they have had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, so. To be fair to those horrible Atlanta Braves. Yeah.
Yeah, but the old Phillies, my team, doing pretty well.
Yeah, so. It's not how you start, Tim.
It's true. It's
how you finish.
It's true.
But the Mets were 11 games under 500 2 months ago, and now they're 13 or something like that games over 500.
That's a pretty impressive swing.
And I know people are going to say you're a liar, but if they were to miss out on the playoffs, by a game or two, I'd be happy because at least I got exciting baseball through September, which is not an often occurrence with the New York Mets.
Yeah. No, I mean, to have that kind of swing through the course of the season, it definitely makes it fun and interesting.
So exciting. Well, good luck if the Mets don't squeak in. I'll say good luck to your Phils, but I'm actually secretly hoping they catch your Phils.
Well, and I just to see the Braves not make it in, hope that your Mets make it in.
Yeah, so. Cheers to that.
So anything else, current events, anything going on for you?
I went to visit my son at Joseph at Penn State University main campus, and we saw the home opener
Nice.
against Bowling Green, which if you're a college football fan, they almost blew it.
Yeah.
And that was kind of exciting. The atmosphere is unreal. I'm actually a Penn State grad, but my graduate degree, so it doesn't really count. But, to go to the stadium and there's 100,000 screaming fans and the parking lot it's a culture, man. That's all I'm going to say. People they go for the tailgating.
Yeah. I was just listening to the radio, and I think it was, I don't remember which show it was, but they were talking about, what are you doing for the weekend? And people were talking about going to ball games and stuff like that. And the one host was like, yeah, I remember going to a game, and we got there early, and we started tailgating, and then we saw everyone coming out of the stadium and realized we had tailgated through the entire game. They never even made it in. And it was actually Seacrest. I think I had like the local B104.
Oh, okay.
Seacrest does his nationally syndicated show.
Yeah.
And it was Seacrest who said he enjoyed the tailgating too much and never made it into the game.
It's very real. Yeah, that's a very real problem.
It's exciting, though, that the NFL has kicked off. This was a big weekend there. And,
Eagles
had a nice win down in São Paulo, Brazil. Yeah. Didn't seem like the turf was particularly good, but they managed to squeak out a win, so it's good.
Yeah, and didn't the quarterback for Green Bay get hurt?
Yeah, right at the end. Turf? I mean, literally like 2 or 3 plays left in the game.
Oh, wow.
And he got rolled over on I think it was his ankle. So Oof. I think they said for 3 to 6 weeks he might be out.
Ouch. He's a good up and coming quarterback too.
Yeah. He's my backup on my fantasy team. So I think I actually have heard Philadelphia's quarterback. So they have a bye, I think week 4 or 5. Okay. So I might have to drop Love if he's not back by the time that bye rolls around. So we'll see.
Yeah, I haven't watched any NFL. I listened because we were driving back from Happy Valley on Sunday, but I did listen to it on the radio. So, I prefer actually to listen to my sports than watch.
Yeah, no,
I don't know something about it.
I've found that even with the Phillies this year, I've probably listened to more games on the radio than I have actually watched them, and I think there's something about the memories that I have about my grandfather always being in his garage with the ball game on. Like there's something really enjoyable about puttering around the yard and doing mowing the lawn, doing whatever, and listening to either some baseball or Latch-Key Dads. One or
the other. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, as a kid, growing up, I would listen to the Mets on AM radio as I would fall asleep. Just something about the crackling noise, and I love it. I love listening to the game. Yeah.
Very fun.
Football's definitely better watching though. Yeah. Football's much more visual, I think.
Although our friend of the show, Merrill Reese, would love if we all would tune in and listen to him.
I heard he's going to come back.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was emailing him, his rep, and they said maybe he'd come back for another Thanksgiving show.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
It would be great if we could get Merrill to join in our... maybe we'll have to figure out a different version of our best food draft.
Yeah. He said that he enjoyed playing that game, so he wanted to, come back.
Fantastic.
Maybe Mike Quick could join him. He's going to ask. But we'll see.
That would be amazing.
It would be amazing if Mike Quick could come.
Very good. So I guess we're here for some reason. No, I think we both kind of talked about this. I don't remember whose idea it was, but to kind of reminisce a bit about the cars that our families had growing up. And I've got a little list here of it's a lot more than I thought actually that my parents had over the years up until I stopped around when I went to college.
Okay. I didn't make a comprehensive list, but I got the ones that really stood out.
Okay.
And that ones that I have some good stories about too. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
At least I think they're good stories.
Well, if you want to kick it off, I'd say go for it.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to pull this up here so you can look at it and get a wonderful idea of what this was. So this was a yellow Datsun station wagon.
Oh, that is a beautiful vehicle.
There it is. I don't know what year we had, but it was this awful pale yellow station wagon, and we called it the banana boat of death.
Wow. That's quite the badge it had there. I like it.
Yeah, and it was a family truckster. Yeah. We took it on vacation to the shore, to and everywhere we went for several years. That was the car my brother got when he got his license.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah, and interesting story. We had talked last week about William, or 2 weeks ago when William had his accident.
Yeah.
Well, my brother, brand new license, deer ran out in front of him. He was driving with his girlfriend, rolled it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they had their seatbelts on, so they were okay.
Yeah.
But that was the end of the banana boat of death.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And I assume it was totaled like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was done. Yeah.
Well, here's to you, Dave, and surviving the banana boat of death.
What do you got up there, Tim?
All right. Well, these are two of these my parents said they had when I was just a baby. I don't really remember these, but apparently they had a 1978 AMC Matador, which was quite the station wagon, like on par with the family truckster in size.
Okay.
A beast of a vehicle, you might say.
I'd never heard of this, but that is a cool looking car. I mean, it's got that typical blue color, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think in my dad's retelling, he only kept it for a couple weeks or months because it was, the gas mileage was horrendous, and it was in the 70s, and I think, it's kind of during the fuel crunch and everything like that. So it was very quickly released back to the, I think the guy who bought it from actually took it back, and my dad ended up buying a different car from him. Oh, okay. Which I don't know if it was at the same time, but we then got an International Scout, which kind of like a Bronco. I think I've mentioned it. Yeah. We would put a sleeping bag in the back and play Matchbox cars when we would take our family vacations and stuff.
So that is it's got the station wagon. It's got the whole big back end where you could lie down in and stuff. But you were just a baby with that Matador, right? Yeah,
I didn't really get to experience too much of that. Now the International Scouts.
Yeah, you got a picture of that?
Yeah.
Oh, is that it? Is that the actual car? Or is that just like a random one?
Okay, so there it is. It was brown. Many of the cars my parents had back in the day were brown. It actually looks like canoeing was a big thing back in the day for us. So a little canoe on the top there. And in that photo, that's where my brother hit me in the face with a croquet mallet and knocked me out.
Wait, but you're not in the photo.
I think I'm actually standing right behind the back of the.
Let me see here. Oh yeah, I see your little arm there.
Yeah.
And this was right before he smacked you with the croquet?
No, this photo was not right before it happened. But we were playing up by we had a detached garage that we used to play up by. And I think he warned me. He's like, I'm going to swing. You better move. And I was like, Yeah, lights out. Number one for Tim.
First of many concussions.
Yeah. Always lead with your face, Tim.
That's a cool looking car, though.
Yeah, the International Scouts, they've actually become sort of like there's like a subculture that they love them, they buy them, they fix them up, and they're actually quite valuable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we had two of them over the years. First one was a 70, and then my dad doubled down a bunch of years later and bought a 79. I think it might have been new, which my parents rarely bought a new car.
My parents did not buy new cars.
So, yep.
Whatever happened to the brown one?
Well, that one in this photo, the first one, I remember my dad sold it to a guy who didn't live that far away from us. And so I would see it parked in this driveway, as we would drive.
That's funny.
And I would always look for it, when we'd be driving around. And for years, this guy had the first one. And then when when I didn't see it anymore, I was kind of sad. I was like, oh no, where is it gone? Because I was still pretty young at the time.
Right. Yeah. Like that was my car. Yeah. That's a cool car. Oh, very nice.
How about you? What else did you
All right, so very, very common car that my father drove, which was a green Volkswagen Beetle.
Ah, yes, the Beetle.
And it was just awesome. I don't know, it was just such an iconic car.
Yeah.
It's a shame that I never got to drive one or anything like that. And I forget the new reissue later on that. Like, this is an OG one, Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the VW Beetles. I had two of them myself.
Oh, yeah?
Neither one ever actually was roadworthy. I bought one. There was a garage close to where my grandparents' house was, and they had this orange Beetle sitting there forever.
Oh, yeah?
And then I feel like my dad and I drove over one day and just asked them, how much they wanted for it. And I think it was like $50 I bought it for.
$50?
Yeah. And
wow.
And then it was it was at our house, and I started tearing it up. It ran, and so I would drive it around the fields around the back of our house.
How
and then
cool is that?
I started working on it, and then my dad's like, we should really get this thing checked out. And we took it to a garage, and they were all the steering, everything was rotting. Yeah. It was kind of I would have to start over from the bottom up because so much of it was rotten. So I ended up selling it for $250. If somebody wanted all the top end was fine. The interior and the fenders weren't too bad. And then I bought another one years later. My dad and I we were at work. I was working for my dad. I found this car in Maryland, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go check it out?"
Random.
At the end of the day, my dad and I leave work with a rented trailer. We
Really?
drive to Maryland. We look at this car. So we drive back from Maryland with this Beetle for $600. Again, I parked it up at my parents' and started tearing it apart. And I put new floors in it.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Did a bunch of work on it. And then, college came around and I never got back to it. So I ended up selling it. Again, I made a couple $100 selling it to somebody else. But yeah.
What color was the second one?
The second one was red.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So the first one was a 72 Super Beetle. And the second one was a 68, just standard issue Beetle. Okay. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Thinking of that car as a little kid, like 7 years old, the engine is in the back. The back, which is a little different, of course. But there's a little compartment there right by that window. It's kind of like you reach behind the seat, and it was like just big enough for, let's say, a 7-year-old. Yeah. My dad would let me sit back there. Going places. Yeah. Like it's, just different. Oh yeah. Different world that, no seatbelt. Not only no seatbelt, I'm in the luggage compartment. Seriously. Like with my face plastered against the rear window staring at drivers going by.
Yeah. No, it's so classic, but that's how it was back then. Yeah. Just wherever you could fit.
Yeah. The car eventually, engine caught fire. And and that was the end of that one. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Yesterday I went to, the grocery store by us. There was a green Beetle, about the same issue as that one, sitting in the parking lot by the pizza shop, and they just had the engine compartment open. I don't know if there was nobody around it. I don't know if it was overheating or something. They just opened it up. But my last Beetle reference, because I've been rambling about Beetle.
Hey, there's a lot to say about them.
My dad, he bought. I think I might have mentioned this before. It was a company called Bradley, and they built these cars that were going to be electric back in the 70s. So we had this Bradley kit car.
Cool.
And the chassis and the engine was out of a Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh, nice.
So my dad had bought this, bottom half of the Beetle.
Bottom half.
This picture here, I'll put it up on the website. It's my brother and I sitting on the chassis with my two uncles as it was being towed behind my dad's International Scout.
How cool is that?
The Bradley was pretty cool.
One more sidetrack with the Beetle. Did you play Punch Buggy as a kid?
Yeah, a lot.
So just this weekend, we were traveling. We went some back roads because traffic was so bad getting into Happy Valley. And we went by this place, and I don't know if they specialized in Volkswagen Beetles, but there was like 50 of them.
Wow.
In all various states in this garage. Yeah. And I was just like wailing. Bunch of you red, orange, white, green, red.
It's so funny.
So yeah, it's still out there. They still, the kids still do it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We were always Punch Buggies. I feel like there's another version of that's, I'm blanking on it, but there's people play the same game, but they have they don't do Punch Buggy. They say.
Is it Pediddle?
No, I thought Pediddle was a car with the headlight.
Headlight, yeah. Yeah.
I'll come back to it.
I want to know,
But there's another term that people use, but it's the same premise. You just hit somebody when you see a Volkswagen Beetle, but it's some other, I don't know. I can't think of it. Anyway.
How's that supplement work?
Yeah, really, not so good. All right, so let's see. What else did my folks have?
What is that?
That's the finished Bradley GT.
How cool is that?
Yeah, so it had the gull-wing doors on it. The hatch where the engine was, just like on a Beetle, was in the back, and it had little gas shocks that would open up.
It looks cool.
It was pretty cool. The only problem was that it was all fiberglass.
It was
the Volkswagen Beetle chassis, and then all fiberglass. There was no steel reinforcement. Like it was a bit dangerous.
A little bit,
but it was super cool. And even like you said, like hiding in the back of the Beetle, this thing had just like a little area behind the driver's seat and the passenger seat. Yeah. And that's where I'd climb.
Mm-hmm. The rumble seat kind of.
Just kind of lay up in this little area when my dad he drove us to soccer practice and stuff in it a couple times. He'd like burn out in the grass and we're like, oh, that's so cool. So, yeah.
And it was electric.
Well, that's just it. The company it folded before he ever got so it was just a Volkswagen Beetle with a really cool top on it. So.
That's so funny.
Yeah. So
it's cool.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to it?
He kept it for years, and there's actually a photo I have where he had it for sale, I think in '85. He was trying to sell it, and then he held on to it for much longer. I feel like it was in the 90s maybe when he finally did sell it.
Okay.
And, you know, you can find them on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah. People have them. They still sell them. And, you know, it's just a novelty, though.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
not super valuable.
You don't want to get in a car accident.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah. Put it on a trailer, drive it to a show, and then putt around in it. So in the vein of the Volkswagens, though, my folks also, they had a 72 Volkswagen bus. Oh,
you mean like the cool ass bus?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That was awesome because the heat never really worked. So you're always super cold. And it was, you know, they were very industrial almost, you know, it was just like rubber floor, you know, on the floor.
Okay.
The seats were vinyl. You know, it was just very utilitarian kind of car. And my mom is on the shorter side, and it was a manual transmission. So she would basically be sitting on the edge of the seat, almost standing, trying to get the clutch in. And then, you know, the gear shift is like 2.5 feet long, trying to get it into gear. I don't think she loved driving that thing.
I bet. Yeah.
But my family was funny. Like, they would always kind of get cars that were similar. So like my uncle had one, and my grandfather had one, and we had one.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of Volkswagen buses that's going around.
Oh, that's so cool. They're awesome looking.
Yeah.
I've never been in one, though. Do they have like kitchens or anything like that inside?
There's the camper style ones that the top would actually pop up, and you would sleep up in the top. And then there'd be a little, you know, like kitchen area.
Okay.
You could fold one of the seats down and turn it into like a little, you know, like a dinette kind of, where you could have a table.
That's cool.
And then sit around it.
Yeah.
But ours was just a standard,
just
rows of seats.
Oh,
and then it had the sliding doors. You know, not unlike the new minivans, but unlike the new minivans where you just touch it and it closes.
Yeah.
That bus, you had to like basically run with the door to slide it hard enough to slam it, and you did not want your hand in between when it slammed shut, because
opposite of fiberglass, right?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of steel. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I've always wanted to like check one of those out, like you know, get in one of them, but never had
pretty
the
cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Greg, it's been a lot of fun talking about these cars. But I think maybe we should take a little break and maybe come back to it next episode. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. We've got so many fun memories and stories that we want to share. I think it's a good idea.
Sounds good. So before we wrap up the episode, I guess we have to do that
D&D phrase of the week.
That's right.
This week's D&D phrase of the week, not word, phrase, is magic missile.
Ooh, magic missile.
Magic missile.
All right.
That's what he said.
And that's a wrap.
Can't get enough Latch-Key Dad content? Well, check out latchkeydads.com.
That's right, Greg. On our website, we've got a plethora of photos from each episode, as well as other interesting links to content that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, Tim, I really enjoy all the pictures that you put up there, as they really bring the episode home.
Yeah, I guess I'm not afraid to show those embarrassing photos of my childhood. So, we encourage you to check out the website, latchkeydads.com, for all that content.
Excellent. And if you have a moment, check out our shop page, where we've got really cool keychains for sale. If you don't know what to get your dad for Christmas, the holidays, Father's Day, birthday, check it out. It's a cool gift. Tim, did you know that listeners should like, review, and subscribe to the Latch-Key Dads podcast?
No. But now I know.
Knowing is
half the battle.